Welcome to the Model Car Hobby Headquarters Unpodcast with your host, Luca C. Now here he is, Luca C. Well, hello, my fellow car maulers. How you doing today? We got a really exciting guest today, fellow YouTuber over here. We've got Bryan from BG's Model Workshop. Hey, Bryan, thanks for coming on.
Hey, Luca, thanks for having me on, buddy. I appreciate that.
Yeah, total pleasure, man. I enjoy your channel, and you know, it's cool that you're starting to pop there, and you do some really cool stuff on there. So, you know, I've watched your channel over the years. You've been a supporter of mine, which I truly appreciate it. You've always said something, but it was kind of funny how, you know, all of a sudden I found out just recently that you're local here, and I got having technical difficulties. There we go. And you know, we're like in the same town here, and we're going to start doing model car things together. So that's pretty cool. So
no, I'm totally stoked about that. Yeah.
I
knew you're in the area, but I wasn't going to be like fanboy and leave the rabbit to your porch and whatever, you know. So, but I was like, if we ever bump into each other, then I'll just say hi. He won't know who I am, but I'll still say hi.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. But yeah, so really, this is all. You know, we're all here to, you know, everybody knows me. We want to know you. So, what is it that got you into this hobby? I mean, obviously, you must have a love for cars.
I do.
And, you know, when did you start, and how did it all happen, and how did it all evolve into you doing this YouTube thing?
Well, I absolutely love cars, as you said. And I was always the kid, no matter where we went, it was grandma's house, sneaking off to school, whatever. I was the guy that always had Hot Wheels crammed in his pockets, and, you know, to the point where I'd rattle when I was walking. But, I mean, my parents, they had all sorts of different cars, so like all kinds of weird stuff. My dad had British cars. I was going to get one of those to drive. But by the time I was sophomore in high school, I was too small to fit in one of the, too big actually to fit in one of those tiny little cars, and just broke my heart. So I was like, you know, if I can't fit in these things, I might as well just go ahead and build scale models of them anyways, right? That way I can have every car I've ever wanted, you know, in an affordable fashion. But honestly, my dad got me started in it when I was about 8 or 9. And it was kind of funny because I had a lot of allergies and asthma problems as a kid. And my dad was like, well, why don't we just build models with Bryan? You know, if you got allergies and bad asthma, might as well be around some chemicals, right? So
yeah, we won't pay attention to that. Heck, it was what, the 70s?
Oh yeah, 70s, early 80s. So
it was much safer back then.
He'd build stuff for me and then just like leave it for me because he was doing night shift and stuff like that. So in the morning I'd wake up, there'd be something on the counter for me, something like that. And he did the General Lee. That's back when that show was just getting started. He did a General Lee model kit for me. And that was the only model he ever built for me that I never destroyed because I just loved that thing so much. And then, you know, time passes. And my mom, it was like one of my birthdays, and my mom was talking to my family. My dad had a big family. So everybody was calling up asking, what's Bryan want for his birthday? I could hear my mom on the phone. He builds model cars now. So, okay, great. So then at my birthday, I had like this truckload of model cars. I mean, that's how my stash started, was that. And I started building those things, and I didn't do a single one of them justice. You can imagine, you know, 12 years old or whatever. And I do have a lot of fond memories of sitting in my room, Christmas break. We had 2 weeks off. Just working in my room, listening to whatever my sister had on TV and around the corner, and then just building models and just having a blast until one day, my mom comes home from work. One of her coworkers' sons had sliced himself pretty bad with an X-Acto knife to the point where she had to rush into the hospital. So my mom came into my room and confiscated everything sharp. And I wasn't allowed to do model building unless unless they were supervising. So that meant at the kitchen table type of thing, you know. But every weekend when my dad was home, I was like dragging stuff out, putting it on the table. Let's go, let's build something. All right. Okay, cool. Type of thing. So after a little while, I just started taking over again and starting to sneak off to my room and do stuff in my room. I was super careful, and I didn't cut myself badly until I was about 40.
Yeah, I think all of us have an X-Acto story.
Yeah, I mean,
I know I do.
Yeah.
Actually, I should say this. That was a hospital run, right to the bone.
Nice. Oh yeah, I flayed myself pretty good, and then afterwards, Linda, whom I refer to as Mrs. BG all the time, she was like, "Well, it's like you have a low pain tolerance." I was like, "It was bleeding." I did. It was the worst thing ever because I did it right in front of my nephew. I was showing him knife safety.
Oh,
and, yep. And then
that
I mean,
that's a good example of knife safety.
Exactly. So he's like, "Now we're going to learn about first aid." I'm like, yes, now we're going to learn about first aid. So,
and this is what super glue is really for.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have a bottle of liquid spray now.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so it's right there. It's handy, right next to the fire extinguisher. You never know.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean,
I'm going to do that. I think that's a good idea.
You're welcome. You heard it here, folks.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody, go. That's a must. That should be. That's a perfect video of doing all your favorite tools. Have all my tools, and then have that right there.
There you go. There you go.
That's fantastic. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm serious. Not making a joke about it. I think I'm gonna go get some. I never thought of that.
Okay, Amazon, man. That river's right next to the splint in the yeah. So so I don't mean to be grossing anybody out, but yeah, it was pretty much my dad that got me into it because he was only home on the weekends. He's doing night shift and stuff like that. We had to be super quiet during the day when he was asleep and all that jazz. So during summertime, if we were in the house, we had to be quiet. And I was building anything I can get my hands on. And then I turned into an airplane builder for a while.
We'll allow that.
We'll allow it, yeah, because I think I have 2 airplanes now, and they're not Corsairs. Oh. But yeah, I mean, I turned into building helicopters, and then I discovered the wonderful world of Star Wars with all their kits.
There it is.
And I built the Millennium Falcon, and then I rebuilt the Millennium Falcon, and I built it again. I think I did it 4 times, and then by the 4th time I had it, chef's kiss, perfect. Oh. Took it to a couple of shows as an adult. Got some pretty nice awards for it.
It was the old MPC Millennium Falcon?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. I have that kit. I built it too as a kid and did the same thing and rebuilt it a few times. But when we moved out here from New York, it was too big. I wasn't able to save it. But I want to build it again.
Well, I might know somebody that has one on hand.
So you have rebuilt that original kit, put it in a show as an adult, and won an award.
Yeah, won a couple of awards and actually made it into a Fine Scale Modeler magazine.
You're kidding me?
Yep. I
got to see that magazine then.
I'll dig it out. I want to
see it.
It's right on the centerfold, so it's perfect.
Wow, that is fantastic.
A club mate of mine was actually like, it's like, leave it to Bryan to be the only person on our club to get a toy into a model magazine.
Oh, that is really cool.
No, I started getting heavy into the Star Wars stuff and trying to do the weathering and all that kind of stuff. And then I started reading fine scale magazines for armor, that kind of thing, to pick up on techniques. And I made a few friends in some clubs when I was up in Oregon for a while. And those guys all did armor and aircraft and stuff. And they took me under their wing and showed me how to do painting and weathering and stuff that I still use today that come in very handy for car building. Matter of fact, one of my good friends, John, I was showing him something I worked on. He likes to use tough loves. I showed him a cockpit that I was working on. He goes, "Who the hell taught you how to paint?" I was like, again, I think you just did, my friend. but yeah, I mean, I've been all over the board with modeling, but it's always come back to cars.
That's the real love, huh?
It is because I just don't know what it is about cars that I just absolutely love. It's anything. It doesn't matter what manufacturer, it doesn't matter what year. I'm all over it. I love it. I've been to all sorts of different car shows growing up because we had those British cars. So I saw a lot of Jags, a lot of Spitfires, lots of Triumph, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, from that, that last video you just put out of the stash, and you had quite a different array of cars you had there, and you pulled out that Fujimi Ferrari.
Yeah, I had the Fujimi Ferrari, and then I've got Ferraris, Lamborghinis. I've got the quintessential 29 Ford that everybody has to have, type of thing. I've got my Mustangs, and I'm not really I'm never say I'm a Ford guy, but if somebody put one in my driveway, I wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
We were out looking at those new Broncos the other day. Absolutely love those things.
Oh, you did go check one out?
Yeah. We walked into a car dealership, and I was being kind of a jerk. I didn't want to talk to any of the sales guys. I just blew right past them all, walked right up to the one that was on the sales floor, opened the door, set off the alarm, and scared everybody in the showroom.
What the heck did they have an alarm on the car in the showroom?
I climb inside and set the seat and steering wheel to see if I'm super tall, so I need to try on cars to make sure they fit before I put them on my list, right? So salesperson comes over and is like, excuse me, sir, this is actually sold. Can you please step out of the vehicle? I'm like, oh, okay. So while we're talking to the guy, they're putting up the velvet ropes around the vehicle so nobody else will touch it.
Jeez.
I was like, oh, wow. We just walked in and the thing was sold before we even got there, So,
wow. So we're
not looking at buying one, but we wanted to see one.
What do you think of that thing?
I actually like it. I mean, I don't know if I need to have the Sasquatch edition type stuff because I can probably handle that stuff pretty much myself, being 6'7". But I wouldn't mind doing a base model with a manual transmission.
Yeah.
And just having fun. Yeah, just going out and having fun. I mean, we got this whole desert out here we can tear up. So let's get out there and get after that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really love what it looks like. I think, Ford, I think, has always figured out a way to do the retro thing right. That's why I was such a fan of the early version of the S197, and I have one. I love that car. And it just, it looks like a 67 Mustang.
Oh, yes, I agree.
Ford really did it right.
I agree. And poor GM. Poor GM. They're having a hard time.
They are. I mean, I'm like you. I'm a car guy. I'm not loyal to brands. I happen to be the Ford guy now, like we talked about in that walk around video at Andy's.
Right.
Just because I just happen to have a bunch of Fords in the driveway right now, but that's just how it happened. But I had Chevelles, and I've had Mopars and Camaros and everything. And I am a huge Japanese car fan. I mean, love them. I would absolutely. Well, I'm nutty about the Skyline, but that's never going to happen. But I love old Japanese cars.
Oh yeah.
A few, Toyotas and Nissans, Datsuns. As a matter of fact, if I would love to go pick up a Datsun pickup from the old 70s one.
Oh yeah. Those things had some style.
Completely, road race the thing. Flares, big tires, slam to the ground.
Kind of Hero Boy style, right?
Yeah. I love those trucks a lot.
I mean, I grew up in the Bay Area of California, right when the mini truck craze was going on.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And it kind of felt like we were ground central. I'm sure it started in Southern California, but it felt like we were ground central for that stuff. And I mean, like every day I came into school, one of my friends had something lowered or hydraulic or, repainted or something like that. I'm like, man, it was just the speakers they could cram in those things. And, and the whole time I'm thinking, what about one of the old Datsun pickups? Anybody going to do something with that?
Yeah.
Nope.
And they were easy to drop on the ground. They were just I had one. I bought one for $800 back in like 80. I think it was 86 or something. I loved that.
Dang.
I love that truck.
Yeah. It was another one of those vehicles.
All over the place at that time. You could pick them up for nothing.
True. So, we're big Japanese car fans here. As a matter of fact, we're a 2 Subaru household right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We had a Challenger for about 3 years, and then it was like We had the RT Blackout Edition 5.7 Hemi, blah blah blah, all everything.
Oh, really? Oh, you went
Yeah.
serious with that.
Active exhaust, and I'm the guy that's driving at exactly 65 miles an hour on the freeway.
You hate tickets or something? Is that what it is? Gee.
Yeah, I don't want to get profiled, but I got pulled over in it once because the tags were expired, and the officer thought I was a straight up thug. He was pretty blunt about it. So
really?
Oh yeah, asked me a few times if I had. Asked me 3 separate times if I had weapons in the car. I'm like,
oh, just because the car was all murdered out, huh?
Exactly. I'm like, wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is kind of a gangster car.
It is, and I was wondering why I was getting so much street cred just driving it around. But none of our neighbors were messing with us. But I love that thing. I mean, we used to take it through tunnels and just have the windows down, lay back off the gas, and just punch it and just annoy the hell out of everybody around us.
That's the joy. That's what I do in my 5.0.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because I'm like I go to the underpass right down the road here. I'm on the access road and I fly down there. I think I did it in a video. I'm always, when I make a left to go under the 17, I gotta gag it, man. I gotta. I'm rolling the window down. Okay, now it's time.
Right.
It's always fun.
I did one burnout in it.
Really?
One dry pavement burnout in it, and I was like, "We're good. We're good."
But you sent that one away, huh? For the Subarus?
Yeah, it was getting time. It was getting time. The thing that really killed me is that I have a lot of back problems, and the ride in that thing was harsh because it was a race car. It was a straight up race car, and I do miss that thing, but I don't miss putting gas in it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Oh boy, we were getting to the point where we were like, yeah, it was starting to have a couple of weird issues here and there. Once in a while, we'd fire it up, and we're like, okay, I think it's about time. And then we sent it on to a new home. We still get emails from it because of the Dodge, whatever the Dodge thing was that had us hooked up for emails and stuff, service calls and stuff. We still get emails from the car letting us know where it's at and how it's doing. So I'm like, it's like having a kid go off the car.
What a
it's like it's off to college or something.
From your old friend.
Yeah, exactly. My buddy says it's asking for help. It wants you to come get it back.
Jeez, I tell you. Crazy living in the future, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of a drag.
Where your old cars keep, giving you a call back to check up on you.
Our new car, I know we're supposed to be talking about model cars and stuff, but I just got to say, our new car, the new Subaru, that thing is annoying because it's got an accent, and we named it Karen. It's kind of a pain in the neck. We're driving along. We're going out to Santa Fe. And one of the ways they want us to go is we wanted to go out through Payson, and it wanted us to go up through Flagstaff and stuff. And every 5 seconds, it's like, in a half a mile, make a U-turn and head back to Phoenix type of thing. I'm like, oh my God, this one's got an accent. It's got like a Long Island accent.
Oh, really?
And it wouldn't shut up. So we named it Karen because it wanted to talk to the manager.
Oh my God. That's funny.
Yeah.
Boy, yeah, they get annoyed when you don't listen to them the way they want it. So
I got divorced.
Cars. Oh man, again, living in the future.
Yes. Speaking of future, I got to say that some of the stuff that's out there on the market right now for model kits is pretty darn nice.
Yes. Yeah.
I always have this continuous list of stuff I want to go out and get.
Yeah, that's what creates these situations we have behind us.
Oh, dude, half of this is Mrs. B. Half of this is Mrs. BG's doing.
Yeah,
because we go to shows and she's like,
she's part of your problem, huh?
Yeah, she's like, here, get this one, get this one, get this one. This is a good price. I'm not going to build this, dear. Oh, it's a good price. You'll be fine. Oh, okay, great. And then she'll come in and she'll count, and then she'll be like, you have quite a bit here. I'm like, this is mine right here. Everything else is yours. Let's talk about yarn,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we were out at Acme in 2019.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you guys, if you haven't been to Acme yet, do it. I know this year's supposed to be a pretty big deal because it's we're making up for the lost year and everything. But if you ever get a chance to go to Acme, freaking do it because it's awesome.
I'm looking up airfare. I want to go to this one.
Good. Well, hopefully we see you down there.
You kind of pushed me over the edge when you said you were going, and been talking to everybody else. It's going to be good. There's going to be a whole bunch of us YouTubers down there, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to take over, and it's going to be YouTube Acme or something like that, right?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, and if you don't know what Acme is, it's the what has always been called the Atlanta show,
right?
But this is their, I don't know how many years, 25 or more.
I think, gosh, 25 was supposed to be in 2020. 2020 was 25 years.
Yeah, and I've always been hearing about the show, and said if there's one to go to, if I had to go across country, that's the one.
Right. And I've been to an NNL West out in California.
You have been to that?
Yeah, and that's a good show too. But Acme was like, oh my gosh, and it's all people's choice. And as a former judge, I freaking love that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I'll tell you another show that I really like a lot that I was going to say you should go to. It's the month before Acme, if you could do it. Is right here. I just got these flyers from them. The Spirit of Speed. That's the one that's over at the NHRA Museum.
Oh, is that Southern California?
Anytime there is a Southern California model show, I love to go to it because it's the Southern California model car guys are just awesome. They're great builders. They're so inspirational, and they're just a nice bunch of guys. I've always had fun with all of them, and that was a really fun show.
Well, that sounds pretty awesome. Too bad it's
you should think about going to that. That is a blast. I'm going to head out there for that one.
Okay.
Fortunately, right? What I got this here. I'm not going to be able to make it to this. Some things came up, but yeah, I whole bunch of guys from here are going. And Chucky Monster's going.
Yep. A good family friend of ours is going up with us. He's a model car builder too.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys. He's like a decal guru that I go to for help.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, there's been plenty of times that I've gone over to his house. I'm like, hey, John, help me. And he's like, oh, okay, this is what you do. All right, here's how you fix that. Oh, okay, good. So I thought I had to throw it away. No, you never have to throw anything away. Just get 5 of everything. It'll be just fine. So that's pretty much his rule of thumb.
Yeah, definitely. So you've been building model cars for since you were a little kid, on and off.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when did you get really, really hardcore about model cars? When did that all?
Honest to goodness, probably about 8 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
8 years ago, when Mrs. BG and I got married, I was going to school for massage therapy, and one of the counselors was saying, listen, do you have any hobbies? And I said, yeah, I do scale model building. And they're like, okay, while you're going through the stress of doing all this type of training and everything like that, don't give up on your hobbies. Don't set them aside. As a matter of fact, dive into them deeper.
Oh, wow.
So I did. I did. I mean, one of the things that would help take my mind off things was just thinking about the build that I was going to be working on when I got home. I was building it into my mind.
Yeah.
And that really helps out, because I got home, and to take off the stress and sort of relax and everything like that, I sit at the bench and I start going through the motions of what I've already thought about doing. And next thing I know, my build quality is getting better. My projects are getting done. I was just like, man, this is just freaking amazing. I didn't realize this was the key for me on how to actually finish stuff and have it look the way I imagined it.
Yeah.
But I mean, that was my secret. And then Linda was seeing what I was doing and stuff. And then she's like, you should be going back to shows again and doing that stuff again. I'm like, no, I don't want that stress and everything. So I went to a model Zona that we had out here not too long ago, and put some stuff in there. Got first place for the categories I'd entered in. So I was like, that's encouraging.
Yeah. I haven't been hitting shows like all kinds of stuff like that. And I think it's really caused my model car building to suffer. And I really, need to start getting more involved again. And
right.
And with all of a sudden discovering you, we really got a huge model car community here in Arizona.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Yeah, and there's so many new guys I've been meeting, and everybody's so cool. So it's really charging me up. It's great meeting new people that are into what we're into. And man, I think some things that are going to be happening here in the very near future, it's going to be really fun for us.
Yeah, I agree. I can't wait.
So what ended up you wanting to get into this YouTube thing with the model cars?
I actually had started looking up stuff on YouTube for ideas on how to do stuff. How do you polish the paint job? How do you do decals? How do you do this? How do you do that? Type of thing. And I was finding a lot of YouTube channels that were already kind of done. One of the first guys I started watching was Paul Turley, and he's been done for a long time. He's family and doing other stuff and like that, but he was one of those immaculate builders where you could eat off of whatever he built. And I just really thought that was cool, and he did a really cool job of how he did his videos and stuff. And then I kind of discovered HPI Guy, and that was before he was doing his weekly stuff. He was just kind of putting out content, whatever. And he was all over the board with what he was building, type of thing, alien dioramas and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I didn't even realize I could subscribe to these guys. And every time they post a video, I can just add it to a watch list and watch it at my leisure, type of thing, or while I'm working. And I was like, I didn't even know I could comment on the videos and let them know how much I appreciate what they did. I mean, I was that's how like ignorant I was about YouTube, right? And then I was talking to Linda about it. She goes, well, your nephew Colin actually does YouTube videos. Talk to him about it and see what he says. So I was like, well, I don't want to make videos. I just want to be able to, do stuff on YouTube and everything like that. So I sat down one day and just figured out all the stuff I could do with YouTube. And then the turning point was I was at the dentist office and I was trying to take my mind off the smell of hot tooth because they're drilling away. And I'm sitting there trying to get my mind off of things. I thought, maybe a YouTube video wouldn't be that bad. I mean, couldn't be any worse than sitting here in the dentist chair, right? so I got home, and after my mouth stopped being numb, I did a couple of practice things and then uploaded them and then took them down right away because they were just experiments and stuff. And then next thing I know, I did a video, and it was bad. it was bad.
Well, you just saw that video I put out. I showed my, the beginning of my.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I do today. That's for sure.
Right. There was a lot of, type of stuff going on.
Yeah. I figured I'd do this YouTube thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I've tried doing a script and it does not work.
I can't do it.
And I've tried rehearsing and doing stuff. I'm like, you know what? If we just switch the camera on and go, whatever happens, happens.
Totally
get kicked off YouTube. Get kicked off YouTube.
Yeah,
exactly.
Totally get it to where I think that's a big key to what gets everybody watching us is I've heard this about every YouTuber. When people meet them, they all say, man, what I saw on YouTube, that's really you. It's not fake, and
right.
You start scripting and I don't know. Then you go Hollywood. We're far.
No, I mean, when I met a few guys that did YouTube stuff around here in the Valley, and then we went to Acme and I bumped into everybody I'd been watching for the last year and a half or more. And I'm like, they're the same guy. They just turn on the camera and talk.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like, oh yeah, you're the same guy that we watch. You're just like taller,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So,
yeah. Well, and by the way, I was very surprised when, you walked up to me. You didn't sound that tall to me. I looked up at
I make up for it with a small personality.
Actually, I mean, your personality really works in your videos. And I gotta do this. Is I'm gonna say to everybody, if you have not seen Bryan in action, you got to go over to his channel. And when you get there, you're going to like it, and go ahead and subscribe to his channel, because you really do have you have developed your own thing, and it's really, your stuff is really interesting.
Well, thank you.
You're just, I really enjoyed like the last one you just did. Heck, the way it was when we did the video there at Andy's, I mean,
yeah,
pretty much didn't have to cut that. That was pretty all flowed right through. And you did better than I do. I depend a lot on post-production. I envy you guys that can roll and keep it flowing.
Right. I wish well, I shouldn't say I wish. Everything's within my control. But I do want to get some editing software and just goof around,
Yeah, it's fun though. It can get it. Well, like with what you're already doing, if you do that, all you're going to be doing now is just enhancing.
Okay.
Enhancing what you're already doing, and it's a lot of fun. I editing, because I had an interest in movie making from when I was very young. A buddy of mine, and we grew up together when we were Star Wars fans, and we built the Star Wars models. The only difference is this guy, man, he built all the Star Wars models with cardboard and tape, and they were better looking than mine. And we made movies. We'd take the models and move them around, and so it was like Super 8 back then. And I used to love cutting and making a scene, putting stuff together like that.
Literally cutting tape.
I mean, it was something I wanted to do. So fast forward to when I started this YouTube thing, that's a big part of my enjoyment of YouTube. It kind of brought that back. And I love doing the editing at the end. I have a good time with it.
Yeah, it sounds like another aspect of the hobby that's
yeah, it definitely is
worthwhile.
Because like you were talking about earlier when you said, which we all can, all of us as model car guys, we've all done this. You're at work and you're thinking about that model kit.
Right.
You're going to go buy, or you just bought, and you just get this idea and you start building it in your head.
Yep.
And that's kind of what YouTube started happening to me. I'm at work thinking about YouTube, or I literally my last video, I just put out the second part of this build I'm doing. I was laying in bed thinking of the last two scenes and how I was going to cut it all together. And I got up last night and finished it.
Yeah, there you go.
It does. It is an extension of the model building. So you started YouTube, about 4 years ago then, right?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, in July, we just had our 4-year anniversary for being.
You're ahead of me. I'm having my 4-year. I mean, I had my channel because Andy was, trying to get me going. And I started my channel. So the date on my channel is like 6 years.
Yeah,
but
same here.
Coming up this October 24th, it will be the 4-year anniversary of my very first episode.
Nice.
But so you're a few months before me, but I remember right off the bat, you're one of the guys that were commenting on my channel way in the early days.
Yeah, and I thought you'd been doing it for a lot longer by the way your videos came out and stuff. And I was like, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah, thanks. I got a really big boom from it. I don't think I would have taken off as fast as I did. I slowed it down, but things got going pretty quick for me because of my connection with Andy. That a lot, He would have me on his live streams, and whenever I do anything because I had already been on his channel before in the past, over a couple of years before I started mine, whenever he would do something on a car. But having that is really what sent me in the direction I went, and as fast as it does. And that's why I'm kind of like why I like to do things like this for other YouTubers and get people who might not have heard of them and help other guys I think that's the key. If we're all friends and help one another out and not have any type of, we're not in competition with one another. We all do something different. Right. I think we all can grow together. That's a big part of it, where I'm starting to make some really cool new friends because of this. I've really gotten a lot of these other YouTubers, a lot of the guys I've already had on this, I still continually talk to on the phone or message and stuff. It's a really cool community we're starting to build up here.
No, I fully agree. And I mean, I found out about your channel through Andy's because I was watching Andy and I saw you on there as sort of like a guest host type of thing. And I was like, okay, I got to go check. If he's doing cars, I got to go check this out. And been a subscriber ever since. But my channel hasn't been growing very fast. I'm used to being the kid in the back of the class making all the jokes that making everybody else laugh, never putting the spotlight on myself or anything. And now learning how to do promotion and kind of promoting myself, stuff like that. Not something I'm used to or comfortable with just yet, but I'm willing to take that plunge, you know.
Definitely. And I was glad when we talked and said, you know, if it's what you want to do, because I didn't know what direction you wanted to go. It's like biggest thing is, you know, go down to Andy's and do a video. That's going to always help you as you learn. That your biggest video you've ever had to date, huh?
It is. As a matter of fact, it is.
On you, and I wanted to have you on here and get whoever doesn't know about you. But I am actually very surprised when I started mentioning you in a couple of videos, how many people do follow you, how you're very well liked.
Oh, well, thank you.
By the community. I really think that you're going to see from here on out, you just keep doing what you're doing, and now you start getting comfortable with the promoting.
Right.
You know, you can't feel bad about promoting your brand. I mean, that's how you get out there, and then you're going to have so many people that get a lot of enjoyment from it. So you're not doing anything bad doing that. And I really think when they start discovering you, I mean, you're gonna get up in the subs and get up in the views. I think you should. That was the thing. I was looking at, you know, before we started talking, I'd every once in a while go back with you. Every video I've ever watched was really good. It was enjoyable, kept me interested. And I watched at that time, the last 4 videos you did. I'm looking at your views and I go, why is this guy not getting views? This is insane. He's got to get views. Everybody's got to see this. And
it's I don't know. There's something about YouTube. She's a fickle mistress, you know.
Yeah. But you got to just learn how to ride the algorithm. It's a game, and you know that's why I told you have any questions. I mean, you got me, but heck, man, you got Andy. That guy knows how to do it. Obviously. Right.
I've been talking to Tim over at Throttle Power a little bit. Also.
Oh yeah, Tim. That guy is taking off scoring. We talk almost every day, him and I. He's been blasting out the real car content lately.
Yeah.
That's been really good, and he's figured out his stride. And like Matthew over at Model Car Videos, I mean, you got all these guys are really figuring out their stride. That's
right. I got to tell you, if I could go back in time and change one thing about my YouTube channel, I would change it to Model Car Videos.
Me too.
How freaking genius is that? I mean, come on, man.
It is. It's like the first time I saw his video, saw his channel, I was like, oh, this guy. That's the guy.
Right.
Smarter than all of us.
He knows what he's doing. No, he's got great content also, and he seems like he's a super cool dude also. So.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like talking to Matthew, like we just said. What you see on the channel, that's really how he is. He's right. Just a good guy. It's pretty cool. This new technology, well, it's not that new anymore, but what this has done for our hobby, I've watched it since both you and we started about the same time. I mean, have you seen a change in the hobby because of this?
Yes. As a matter of fact, I have.
And I really think that the YouTube stuff is growing. You know, I see the trend I see coming into our hobby here is like older regular car guys are getting into this hobby. So I really think that's the future of the hobby.
No, I fully agree. Since I've joined YouTube, there has been so many people joining in with their own channels, doing their own content and doing it well. I'm just really impressed, and I am so glad to be part of this whole YouTube model car deal. Even part of the model building genre in general, not just model cars. But I'm just super stoked to be part of all that type of thing, and I gotta swear, I enjoy the hell out of it.
Oh yeah, Yeah. Well, you have to be true about this, and you got to have a passion for it, and you got to, have the right frame of mind of why you're doing it. And it's just nothing but positive can happen.
Right.
And like I said, it has been so cool of all the neat new friends that I'm making, really, truly good friendships I've started making through this is probably the best pay I've ever gotten for doing this.
That's pretty well said.
We're definitely not getting, there's a misconception here where we're getting paid here, really.
Right.
No. If I were doing this for the money, man, I'd have hung this thing up about 4 years ago.
Right. Yeah. Was it like 2 cents a day or something like that?
I think, yeah, something. It's crazy. I mean,
I'll tell you something about the model building thing for me is it's very easy for me to be a homebody, just watching TV for hours and not doing a darn thing. But the model building thing, going to shows and looking out for new stores and stuff like that, gets my fat ass out of the house so we can go do stuff. So when we travel, we like to travel a lot. So we just took a trip out to Santa Fe and then up to Colorado and stuff like that back beginning of the summer. Every time we stopped into a town for overnight, get out the Google Maps and start looking for a local hobby shop to go hit. And found a few that were really fun. But traveling across the country to go to a model show helps us figure out where we want to travel and what we want to do, right? And Linda enjoys the hell out of it doing all that stuff too, so she's on board with a lot of what we do. We'll talk about it, figure out what we want to do, and then plan the trip and stuff like that accordingly. And I mean, back when I was living in Oregon, I was just working all the time. I didn't have anything going on. So I joined a model club, and next thing you know, there's a show here, there's a show there, there's a show over there. So I started going to shows and bumping into people, making friends and stuff like that. And some of those guys I still talk to today, and it's been over 10 years.
Yeah.
And the community that you build doing that kind of thing is a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've talked about this before. I lived in Virginia back 92 to 94, and I made some very good friends there through modeling and through the racing I was doing. But those guys were also doing model car stuff that I'm still very good friends with and talk to all the time today. And I'm really excited that I want to start making a point of going out there for some shows and hooking up back with those guys. Right. I'm definitely going to start, which I have pretty much over the past 20 years, not really done a lot of traveling. I haven't flown on a plane since 97.
Really?
Yeah. So like I might need your help a little bit of guidance, because I'm trying to figure out how to do this plane thing to get over to Atlanta, because I gotta go to that. And so we might talk a little later. I might need a crash course on how to figure this out, because I'm looking and I know how much it costs. Cost isn't the problem. It's trying to do it.
Right.
I don't know how to do the logistics. But I really want to start doing that. I want to start making multiple trips to the shows back east.
Good deal. Well, if you go into Acme, take an extra suitcase, man. I'm telling you, for the model kits you're going to bring back. I may or may not have left some clothes in the hotel room dresser just because we needed space in the suitcase.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to be bringing, because I got to bring some models with me. That's a challenge. I have the perfect carrying case for it, so I'm not worried about any problems with shipping them or taking them on the airplane. But I gotta take those. I gotta take camera equipment, because I will be making videos. I gotta have, we all have to be making videos, and we just camera bomb each other. And I guess clothes. I guess I'm going to need clothes. I mean, I don't want to be wearing the same, whatever.
I don't know.
The whole weekend.
They have showers in the hotels. You'll be fine.
Yeah. I guess I could wash my clothes with me. Fun. But yeah. But I, trying to get that together. That's the only thing I'm all freaking out about. But other than that, I'm looking forward to that. I really want to.
It's going to be 60 guys walking around with cameras filming each other.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts, isn't it? I think it would be so cool.
Nobody's going to be looking at the models,
and we're just all kind of in each other's videos too. So everybody could go jump over to each other's channel.
Right.
They can go look at everybody's channel and kind of watch the same thing from a different point of view.
Right.
That'll be fun.
To be continued on Lucas.
Yeah. That'll be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to that. And
I was told by a friend of mine.
I got Tim almost talked into going. So get with me on that. Let's bug Tim and get him there.
All right. I'll work on him with you. I was told by a friend of mine that was there that I was the moving landmark. So if somebody needed directions someplace, it's like, oh, you see BG over there? Okay, he's standing it's right next to where BG is. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're that that radio tower up on top of up there with the light.
Exactly.
What we use South Mountain for. Well, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Just go to the South Mountain, take a look. Go over to BG
North
and make a
Mountain
look.
over here that has big one on there. And they put big bright lights on it. I thought it was a UFO the other night when I noticed bright lights on that one instead of blinking red ones. But yeah, that's you.
Thanks. Appreciate that, man.
I think I feel a nickname coming on.
Oh, I grew up with enough nicknames. I'm good.
You have.
Mrs. BG has a few for me also that are not available on camera.
Those, do we?
Mm-mm.
Well, I tell you, your whole channel is you pretty much cover everything about the hobby, and then I remember a video watching. We talked about that when you were trying to make a paint booth out of a sandblaster. That was unique. But it was neat. It was neat. You actually gave me ideas. What I was ticked off about is I think I chucked something like that out not too long before I watched your video and went, oh.
You want mine?
No.
No, it was an inspired idea. I found it over at Harbor Freight on a killer deal. And when I was buying it, the kid at the counter goes, do you want any blasting media for this as well? I'm like, no. He's like, why? I'm like, none of your business. So I came home and I took it all apart. I took out the bottom hopper. I redid it. I put fans in the bottom for a downdraft system. And I had that thing dialed in. I mean, I had tape on all of the crooks and grannies and all that stuff and everything. And then because it comes with its own gloves, you can just slide your hands in. I figured we were good, right? So we're going to have a dust-free atmosphere for doing clear coat and stuff. The problem is that I paint by ear, apparently. I did not know that while I was moving stuff around inside there, I had the trigger depressed on the airbrush, and I'm just dumping clear coat on the back wall of the thing and not even realize what I'm doing. So I used it twice, and I'm like, this, okay. So I cut the gloves out because they were so thick. They're designed to protect you in case you go across your hand with the media blast.
I've used those things. I didn't think the gloves would work.
Oh, I was trying to paint like an astronaut from NASA or something like that, right?
Or one of them nuclear physicists with those.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't going very well. So I cut the gloves out and just stuck my hands through with gloves on there, and then fired up the fans, and then the little tendrils that I had coming over my arms that were left over were like type of thing, from the draw I had going in there. I'm like, this just isn't working out. So now it's sitting in the garage. It's actually my curing cabinet because that thing will be like 85, 90 degrees, something like that. So spray something, open the door, stick it in there, slam it shut. It's airtight. So
at least you're getting a use out of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. You telling me about it and some ideas came in my head. It might be something to think about revisiting because I think you were onto something that still could work.
You think so?
I'm thinking.
Okay. We'll have to talk about that.
I've never claimed to be right. We get all kinds of harebrained ideas.
Well, I've never claimed to do anything right.
That's what makes it all so exciting to watch is I'm never scared to show my failures. That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, bloopers.
Yeah. I just started leaving my bloopers in a couple of videos ago. I got some pretty good comments on that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're funny. I'm not proud. I can't even get my head straight. I'm not proud. No, it's funny. I like, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you're kind of a boring person.
I agree. If you can't laugh at somebody else, who can you laugh at, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so what are you working on right now? What do you got going?
I just started, happen to have it right here. We're working on the AZLeo.
Ooh, that's right. You got that. That was gifted to you.
That's right. A nice man in the community by the name of Doug Hensley. He's got a channel also, of course. He does all kinds, he even does gardening and stuff too, right? So if you want some tips on gardening, that's the guy you look up. But he sent that to us, and I know he's slight on mean sometimes. So that's an even bigger gift, knowing that he had to set this aside for a little while till he had enough money to send that out, type of thing, as a thank you to something I had done for him in the past.
That's cool.
And yeah, so that was actually, I mean, I did the video and stuff, but I had to afterwards sit down and just take a break, because I was actually very moved by it. And I thought, I better do this video before I think too much.
Yeah.
So we're building this in his honor.
That's cool.
And this is something else that I freaking love about model building, is that I've known of the AZLeo before. I've seen pictures of it and stuff like that. But now I'm doing photo research on it to find out the proper colors and everything. And I'm doing reading about the thing. And I'm finding out all kinds of fascinating aspects of the actual cars that were made. And that's what I freaking love about model building, is it doesn't matter what it is in my stash. When I go to build it, I'm going to start reading about it and doing some research and just delving into whatever that particular project is. And then when I'm done, I'll be, and not really an expert, but I'll be knowledgeable about that particular project, and then also have the model to put on the shelf.
Yeah, I agree with you. That you have a tendency, you do the same thing I do, is when you're going to start on a project that's a particular vehicle, you get so engrossed into that vehicle, you start to research. All of a sudden,
right?
I am so like I remember I'm into Willys. I'm into 41 Willys, and I started learning everything about the Willys, or 68 Barracuda Hemi cars, and I would just I'm all about those. That's like my favorite vehicle right now. It is. You do the model car building gets you to learn about all these things, and we're such car nerds anyway, so now all of a sudden we become expert about so many different cars,
right? I
mean,
and
then we start helping each other out.
Yes. Like the Stone Woods and Cook 41 Willys, I got that sitting on the side right now. I'm waiting for the right weather to do clear coat for it, because I got it all decaled and everything, right?
Oh yeah.
But the windstorms, what's that?
Which version are you doing?
I'm doing the early.
Oh, okay. I see it right there. Yeah.
The early with the wide mouth.
Yeah.
So I use all the kit guts from the original kit that came out back in the 60s. Mm-hmm. That's been repopped. But I didn't like the body. So I used a modern body and then modified it to fit the old chassis.
Yes, that's right. I've been watching the video on that. Okay. Yeah. You were kind of, and I got to thinking, because I really like that when that new one came out as the Masmanian.
Yes.
I was thinking the same thing, because when I built one, I took a lot of parts from the old kit, because there's a lot of things they didn't do in that new one. And now the way you're doing it, I was looking at it, I go, that's a freaking good idea. Really good idea. And I've always liked that version of the Stone Woods and Cook car that you're doing, because I loved the really rough graphics they did. It almost looked like it was all put on the car with a ink pen or a marker or something. I always like that.
Well, it looks like somebody sat down on an overturned bucket and just started painting on the side of the car. Yeah. At the very bottom, they're like, oh, there's another guy. Okay, what's his name? Cookie? All right, here we go.
Yeah, I know. I remember years ago when I look at the box art of the 80s version, and I didn't have a lot of knowledge about it. That's how I found out about Stone Woods and Cook, was that video, that model kit. And I remember looking at that and just thinking, they made a model. What a janky looking race car with, looks like they wrote with a pencil on the side of it, the names and stuff. But now it's like, those decals are so cool. I want to build one. I actually kind of did something like that with a model I was building. I built this one. It was from the Revell Mazmanian, and I did my fictitious car. But before I painted it, I had the car completely done, but the body wasn't painted. I wanted to bring it to a model meeting and actually enter it with whatever that I think I was building it for that month. So I just took the primered body. I really buffed the primer up to have it look to scale. And I took a black Sharpie and wrote the name of the car on the side door. I figured when I go to paint it, I'm going to be doing, sanding and everything. I put a couple of decals on it, and it was a completed model. And I have like one picture of it. And, after that, the thing got painted with a beautiful paint job.
Right.
So, but that was always like, I had that fascination with that version of the Stonewoods and Cook car that made me do that.
It's a fascinating kit, because an article I read about it said that they wanted to do the car justice and honor those guys as best they could, because they were setting all sorts of records and being the first for everything. And they wanted to do such a good job with that kit that they spent a lot of money making that kit with the opening doors and trunk and everything. And we're literally pushing the technology of that day for that kit. It doesn't play well today with what we can do with slide molding and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
But looking through that kit and then building it with the understanding of why they were doing what they were doing, I really have a high appreciation for that particular kit. I still have the body setting aside here, and I'll use that for practicing doing like reverse opening doors and making my own hinges and stuff like that.
Yeah. Are you you didn't open the doors on that body though, did you?
No.
So what you just widened out the opening for the
right. The original kit comes with a chrome insert piece. Yeah. And I just taped that to the front of the new body, traced around it with a pencil, and then just got out the motor tool and went to town.
Well, you're a smart guy.
Okay.
Oh man, that's cool. Yeah, that's coming along really cool. I've watched those videos. That'll be a neat one when you're all done with that.
Oh yeah, as long as I can get some good looking clear coat on there, because the weather hasn't been that great lately.
No, it's been really for us. I know the people in the deep south would laugh at us, but it's been muggy here.
It's been muggy, and the dust storms.
Yeah, and we had a little bit of rain this morning, and that even now I'm a little uncomfortable in here. We got the AC blowing and it's not working for us.
Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I have my fan switched off for the microphone.
Yeah, me too. That's another thing is I got my fan up here. I shut it off when I'm.
You hear that, guys? Me and Luca,
so we
suffering
suffer
for your convenience.
We suffer for you.
Yeah.
But we don't mind. We love it.
Yes, exactly. Because we're being paid very well to do this.
Oh, right? Yeah. As Matthew put it, now with the ad revenue that's coming in for all of us, we're getting extremely rich. We are, God.
A couple more weeks, I can get a Slurpee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you though. I mean, it does help. It does start getting a little bigger, and it's a good little helping, like we talk about, to help you get better equipment, help you do more things to bring better content, if anything.
Right, and that would be my dream, would be getting some editing software and messing around with that. And
yeah, I finally. It's just this year that I was living off of I can't say. Don't want anybody to know, but it was a bootleg version of, and I was working with that for a while, and it was getting rough to use. And I finally pulled the trigger just not even a year ago and finally purchased editing software. And it definitely has made things, it's worth the money, because I was able to almost cut my editing time in half with this new software. So
that's awesome. So I finally pulled the trigger and got a web camera, which is and a microphone, because I was doing some sound checks and stuff. I'm like,
microphones are real important.
I'll tell you what, I think Felix was the secret to my success on that Andy's video, because most of the comments were like, oh my God, he put the dollar in his pocket.
Oh yeah, that was fantastic. That kid is so funny. He's lazy. That's why I'm in my videos. I get comments. People are going, Felix had a grandson, and everybody's happy to see Felix. And he's a funny little man. But yeah, I tell you, I enjoyed that a lot. I thought, you know, reliving it was funny. But I took your video, and we have a little like just our family. We have a little messenger, you know, on Facebook Messenger that we just call it the boy, and we all, whoever has him, posts videos and pictures of him, but that's all all it's about. So I went ahead and sent that to everybody in the family to see your video. You got Felix is in. Heck, he's probably been on 3 or 4 different YouTube channels. You know, he photo bombs. You know, but yeah. So you know, he's getting to be a YouTube star without having a channel. Well, but he was funny in your video. That I'm glad you kept it. That was fun.
I was watching. The funny thing is, we recorded it and everything. I went home and I just set my phone aside. I'm like, I'm not touching it. And then you're like, hey, when are you going to do your video thing? And then Tim's like, hey, when are you going to do your video thing? You know, type of thing. I'm like, I haven't even previewed the footage yet, you know, type of thing. I didn't want to do it. I was just, when I film or record, you know, it's always from my point of view. You always see my hands. I'm hardly ever on camera. And then I just set it aside so I can listen to what I'm saying, make sure I'm not saying anything that's going to be, you know, misconstrued or, you know, something that's going to get me arrested. And then,
I should do that.
And then I just, you know, send it off to YouTube and away we go. So this thing, I'm like, I got to actually sit here and listen to myself be a dork for 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I set up my phone. I'm listening to it. And then you're on camera the whole time. So I'm like, I'll just watch Luca. Okay, great. And then I was thinking, okay, I might need to slice out that bit with the drink and Felix and stuff. And I'm like, actually, no, this is... If he doesn't mind, I don't mind. I think this is actually fun. You know,
yeah, he's been on YouTube plenty of times. Review my channel, my daughter's channel, and I think he's been on a couple other ones.
Right. Yeah.
My
thing is that I wanted to go to Andy's on Wednesday morning when he wouldn't be busy, and he was busy.
You can't ever plan that. That is a busy store.
It is.
Even before YouTube, he was always a busy store. Yeah, he's really busy now.
Yeah.
That's always it's always funny sometimes trying to plan doing a video. We go over, you know, Annie and I are always trying to get together to do a video, and I could be there all day and we don't get a shot. It just gets busy, man. And that's his livelihood. So that's the prime thing, you know,
and that's a very good point. We know that Andy is a shopkeeper, and his job is to run that store and provide a service and make money for his family for food and all that kind of jazz, all the things that go along with that. So when I go to his store, I recognize the fact that he's a busy man, and I do want to talk to him. I do want to chat with him about stuff and just shoot the breeze and everything like that. But I find myself respecting his, I don't know what you call it, professional privacy.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything else. I'm like, hey, how's it going? He goes, hey, how's it going? You know, type of thing. And then I'll ask him a question about a product or two. And I'm like, okay, I'm good. See you next week.
You're a lot nicer than me. I go in there, I walk behind the counter and plop down and start running my mouth. I don't care what's going on.
Well, we don't all have those privileges.
I mean,
God. Yet anyway.
Like I said, I've said it before, I was a customer. I think he was only open not even a week when I first walked in there, and I've been going ever since.
Nice.
Favorite hobby shop in the world.
I'm it's getting to the point now where I don't mind driving the 45 minutes to get out there.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it is. And I never come home empty-handed, that's for certain.
Yeah, I know you were having a tough time that day, weren't you?
Yeah.
You had a pile. I still got stuff sitting down there on hold that I got to go down there and buy. I haven't been at all this week, which is odd for me, but I've been busy with things.
Right.
Got something fun coming this weekend for us. So
that's true.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, Bryan, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it. Thank you for asking me.
And plan on doing it again, because nobody just comes on here once. As soon as I get through all, everybody's first time, we're going to start doing more on podcasts where we just, maybe a couple of us at a time, not just one-on-one, get together and we just talk about mountain bars and whatever we feel like talking about, really, because it's our Unpodcast.
Let's have a panel of people.
Yeah, this thing is evolving into that, and that's what I wanted to do. But I want to thank you for coming on. It's fun to talk about cars with you always. And it's that time in the show that I ask the guests to do something.
And what's that? I have pants on, so whatever's good is good.
Oh, no, you got to do my outro. It's your job to do the outro.
Okay, so we keep cutting that styrene and keep gluing those fingers together, folks.
And we will see you in the next video. Good job. Good job. I think you're one of the ones that pretty much pulled it off correctly there.
Really? I didn't even script that either.
Good. Oh, boy, you showed everybody up. And thanks a ton, everybody watching. You got to get over to Bryan's channel. Check it out. It's good stuff. And sub when you're there. Please do. That really helps us YouTubers out when you guys support us like that. Just doing that is a ton for us. So get on over there, check him out, have fun with it. You know what kind of guy this dude is. So we'll see you in the next video. And you know what I always say afterwards too is there's the producers. It's over. It's done. It's all done. We're finished.
Nice.
That's gonna be fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.